What's good on, people? Welcome back to the John Sinclair TV, back again live from Glasgow, and I've got Matt with us. How are you, Matthew?
I'm not too bad. Thank you very much for having me on the show, John. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to be on. I'm not too bad at all. Football is back.
It certainly is, my guy. Certainly is. And before we go on to the up-close show with Matty from Black and White Banter, if you like the video, like what you see, make sure you give it a like, subscribe. Also, do follow Black and White Banter. And if you'd like to become a member, it's just 99p as well. Excuse me. And just before we go and start the show, I just want to read out a message from CFP, Footy Passion. Remember John Alden Looms really sadly lost their lives, passed away on the flight MH17 over Ukraine 2014, 9 years ago a day, while on way to watch Newcastle in the pre-season in Australia and New Zealand. Thoughts are with Barry, Joyce and both families. Gone but never forgotten. Rest in peace, John and Liam. And your thoughts are our thoughts with you guys as well. And I do apologize to his family as well. So, and before we start go on to comments first, hi to Leslie, and make sure you get the right questions ready for Matt. Use your house rules apply. Please keep comments respectfully. Thank you, Les. And please like and share the show's social support these two cracking YouTubers. Thank you.
Very kind, Les. Very kind.
And hi to Lukman as well. Levy out. Right. And are we ready for it? And the first question we're going to ask you, I have sent it as well, which is part one. It's all about you as a YouTube creator and a Newcastle fan. And the first question I'm going to ask you is, where were you brought up and where did you first fall in love with Newcastle United?
Yeah, I'm originally from County Durham, just a little town called Shildon. More people know Bishop Auckland, so that's normally where I tell people. It's very close to that. County Durham is massively split down the middle, at least my town was. So if I went to watch the derby game in Shildon, it would be half the pub would be supporting Sunderland, half the pub would be supporting Newcastle. My dad's always been quite a big Newcastle fan growing up, although he says he's not, but he definitely is. He watches every single match. And when I was really young, I wasn't that much into football. It was my older brother who was more into it when I was like a toddler. And then just as I started growing up, started playing it more at school, started just getting amongst football more with the lads at school. I fell in love. Went to St. James's Park, fell in love, and the rest, as they say, is history. I could not wait to get my season ticket, and I've had it ever since.
Yep. Fantastic stuff. How long have you had a season ticket for?
I've had a season ticket since 2000, and you are testing my memory now. Yeah. Since 2004.
Fantastic. I've had mine since 2001, so which is quite a weird. And let's go on to your next question. When and why did you start your YouTube journey?
It's a funny one, John, because for me, I don't class myself necessarily as a YouTuber. I class myself more as a content creator because I do a lot of very different stuff across other socials, Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, that I kind of post on YouTube because of the daft copyright police. So generally creating content on YouTube, I started during the Bruce era because lockdown had hit and we didn't have much to do in the house. And I was watching YouTube videos and I just felt like I had a lot to say. And because my missus at the time didn't really care what I had to say during lockdown. I thought, why not just put it out to someone who might actually care? And obviously in the early stages, I had no subscribers. No one really cared what I was saying. And it's just kind of trickled across. But obviously across other socials, I get really weird video ideas in my head that aren't to everyone's taste, very unusual, normally humorous, photo edits and video edits. And black and white banter across all platforms has just boomed beyond a scale that I've never really anticipated, to be totally honest. And it was definitely the Bruce era that sent me to YouTube, and then me just loving making video content on the other platforms.
Fantastic stuff, fantastic stuff. And the next question is, we've all had our dark days following our club. What kept you personally supporting Newcastle?
See, I know that's a question where, you know, it does split opinion between people who gave up the season tickets because of the darker days. I had friends who gave up the season tickets because of darker days, but it was never an option for me. It wasn't. There's been some horrible times, but no one is bigger than the football club, in my opinion. And Mike Ashley is not bigger than our football club. And yes, it was horrible, but to give up your season ticket and stop going, and when a Saturday afternoon comes around, know that Newcastle are playing and you're not there, was never an option for me. That would make me feel so uncomfortable because it's just a way of life. And knew Ashley was going to leave one day. He was never going to have Newcastle for 50 years. And the dark days have been horrible, but your football clubs, to me, it's just like going to church. And that might sound like the most disgusting cliche you've ever heard. But some people go to church on a Sunday. I think Newcastle fans, we go to St. James's Park on a Saturday or a Sunday, whatever the kickoff is. And it's just a way of life, innit? And that's what got us through those dark days.
Yeah. And the thing is, so at the end of the day, and the rest is history, we have got our club back.
100%.
And then the rest is history. It's just history. And have you had dark days as a YouTuber? If so, how did you move on from any negativity to then go on to grow your amazing channel?
No, I looked at that question, John, that you sent over. No, I wouldn't say I've had a dark day, because for me, I go home and I watch Newcastle play home and away. I put my opinion out when I'm in the house on different topics, and I wouldn't really say I've had a dark day. No, obviously doing vlogs in the Bruce days wasn't the nicest because you constantly sound like you're whinging. But the most, even in terms of comments, of course you get comments of people who disagree. The biggest comment I get across all platforms when I do a voiceover on stuff is people saying he sounds like a Mackham. I get that a lot. I get bored of it, if I'm being totally honest with you, because my argument when people say that is, I've had people say to me in the away matches. There was one bloke at Southampton in the cup semi-final first leg said, "Where the hell are you from?" And I said the same place as Sir Bobby Robson. And it's true. Like, I'm not a Mackham. My accent might confuse people a little bit. That's really the only negativity I've really had across platforms since I've been doing it, really. Some people might share some of my videos and say this is a bit cringe. But when you do humorous content as well, John, that's going to happen. Your humor is not going to be mirrored by everyone else's. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them things.
Do you know what it is, right? I mean, we as fan base shouldn't have to be negative at all, because when you look at it now, I still get people being negative, saying that we can't get any players, this and that, and all that, the sort of thing. You know what I mean? In my opinion, people need
just
to
done a video about that.
Go on.
I was just going to say, I've just done a video about that. Funny that you're on that topic, about all of the comments that are coming through about the transfer and what Eddie Howe, like the Luke Edwards article last week was ridiculous. How he said that our summer strategy, we've got it wrong. It's July. It's honestly drives me up the wall, John. It drives me up the wall.
Exactly. I know exactly what you mean, and I have to agree with you. They need to trust the process. Simple as that. And let's go on to the next one on a more positive note, which you like to hear. What are your highlights of your experience as a YouTube creator?
Again, just content in general. It's been amazing because it's built me relationships with people that I could never have dreamt of, never in a million years. Like I'm going to. Sorry, my dog's just causing us a bit of a nightmare there. When I go to America next week, I'm going to be sharing a hotel room with someone who I met in Los Angeles through Black and White Banter a couple of years ago. People have bought my merchandise. People come up to me on matches. it's crazy, and it's actually helped me land my dream job now. So Black and White Banter has led on to my dream job opportunity, which I've only just started 5 weeks ago. So where my channel across all platforms has taken me is just, it's crazy, and I love it. Absolutely love it. The clues in the title of my channel, John. I love having a bit of banter, and if it's football, I'll talk to the wall about football. Do you know what I mean? I love it. Love it.
Absolutely, absolutely. At the end of the day, as long as you don't have any negativities with it, that's absolutely fine. So
100%.
Brilliant stuff. So that's part 1 done. Part 2 is going to be quick fire questions, and there's about 10, 11 questions of them, but we're going to fire away. And the first question to you, Matt, is your best moment as a Newcastle fan.
Ooh. Oh, God, that's a tough one. Best moment, I've got a few. So definitely Sunderland 5-1 on Halloween. That was absolutely amazing. I remember doing the Kevin Nolan chicken dance around Mood nightclub in the gate.
Yes.
On that Sunday. That was absolutely incredible. To beat them the way that we did was just off the scale. Last season for me was a massive highlight. I was lucky enough to go home and away for most of the season and to watch what felt like a transformation of a club and just the feel in the city away. Like, I couldn't wait to get on the away bus down to away games. I couldn't wait to get to St. James's Park. Something changed last season, and I think last season will be a season we'll all talk about in years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's hope when we play Sunderland again, we do it again, because you haven't beaten for a long time. But our time will come. Your best moment as a YouTube creator since you've been doing it, your best, best time? And
best time as a YouTube creator was probably, in terms of my best ever match vlog I've done, had to be Nottingham Forest away last season, because I'm lucky enough to go away with an absolutely cracking bunch of lads, and some of the footage I got of that last minute Isaac penalty, it was amazing. Like, it was, I slowed it down, and the footage of us jumping up and down was hilarious. And that was one of my favorite away days last year. On the content side as a whole, Alan Shearer, when we first got taken over, reposted one of my video edits on his own Instagram and tagged Black and White Banter underneath. And that was absolutely crazy. Alan Shearer, the guy whose shirt I've had hung up on my door since being a kid, shared one of my videos on his Instagram. That was off the scale, and I couldn't get my head around it. So definitely those two.
Wow, absolutely. I mean, that was a fantastic time for you, mate. It really, really is. And yeah, I'd love to get Alan on the podcast, on your podcast as well.
One day, John,
one day, I should let people know. And your favourite player, past and present?
One of each, do you mean, or just one overall?
Just one of each.
One of each. Past, obviously, Alan Shearer. That's the easiest. I was lucky enough, I feel blessed enough to have watched him play and chant his name in the stands. So that one's easy. Present. Ooh, it's gonna have to be. It's a tricky one in our current team, because we've got so many good players across the board. I'm gonna go. It's a bit of an unusual choice. I'm actually going to go with... No, it's not actually. No, I've changed my mind. I'm going to go Joe Linton.
Yeah, and you know what it is to Joe Linton, right? I mean, for me, his name should be on the team sheet every single week. I mean, in my opinion, since Eddie Howe's come over, he has started to play like a £40 million player. I'm going to put my hand up and say, look, I try to support him at the time, but I think he's just, well, I can't go there. But Eddie Howe comes in, boosh. What a guy. What a guy.
Kieran Clark gets sent off, and we never look back from there. He's an absolute, he's, to see him score for Brazil, I felt like a proud dad. I literally had a tear in my eye hearing that he'd scored for Brazil.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And you know what, right? I mean, I love to be proved wrong. I do like to be proved wrong. But Joe Linton has done that. He's the most improved player in the Premier League for a long, long time in my book. And long may it continue. He's only 26, 27 soon. So, yeah, onwards and upwards for the big guy.
100%.
So let's go on to the next one. This is going to be your favourite question. Your best signing since the takeover?
Since the takeover? Got to be... Because I think he's got the potential to be one of the best in the world. I know Kieran Trippier would be a lot of people's answers for what he's done since he's come in. I'm not going to say him. I'm going to go for Sven Botman.
Wow, that guy is amazing. I mean, he defends properly, and he's just going to get better and better and better.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, absolutely. He looks like a defender who's capable of reading things a couple of seconds ahead of the game. A bit like he doesn't have much pace. I was talking to a guy at work today about that. He's not pacey, but he doesn't need to be when you can read the game well. And he looks like that Van Dijk mold of being able to read it well enough to make up for the lack of pace, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And his tackling's been superb. And he doesn't give a ball away, doesn't give a tackle in the box, doesn't make a mistime challenge. The only one thing he did last season, he was at that game as well. We knew that back pass straight to Manuel Dennis and he scored from it. And listen, I know I've seen on social media people was having a go at him, blah, blah, blah. But listen, at the end of the day, he doesn't normally make mistakes. This guy deserves a bite. He's been outstanding.
Even superheroes make mistakes, John.
I agree. You're right. 100%. Totally agree. Let's go on to the next. Which player that we've been linked with but didn't sign would you have liked to see at St James's Park?
Obviously it's difficult to think back since Eddie Howe's been in charge, but off the top of my head, I know he's split opinion. James Maddison for me.
Fair enough. To be fair, we could have done with him. We could have done with him as well. And I'll ask you a question as well before I go on to the next one. Yeah, mm-hmm. I mean, are you happy with the transfer business? Do you think the board should come and tell us and say we're not after this player, we're not after that player, or do you think we should carry on and just let it pan out?
I think how Newcastle are conducting business at the moment, where they keep the cards very close to the chest, is absolutely brilliant. I mean, I read in the Athletic that Barella was a total smokescreen. We were never interested in Barella, and that seemed to pave the way for us to sneak in and get Tonali. And I think it's from a strategic point of view, from Mr. Darren Eales and Ashworth and whatnot, it's absolutely wonderful, and long may that continue. So, yes, we're going to keep seeing all the rubbish from journalists because they can't get a sniff of what's going on. But I would rather that, because it means we are going to sneak in the back door of nightclubs, go straight onto the dance floor, steal the nicest looking girl, and sneak out the back. That's what we're going to do.
Oh, love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you very much for answering that question. That was like a bonus question from me. Let's go on to the next. What do you think sets us apart from other clubs in the way we do business in the transfer window? You just mentioned that, didn't you, really?
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. Do what they've been doing. Just, keep it cards close to their chests. Don't say anything, right? Let them write out a load of crap, right? Make them look like an idiot. And then, move on.
Yeah, honestly, John, I think we're as a club in a position where everyone is taking note of how well we're doing. Everyone knows who Newcastle are now and are taking stock of us. So when we are linked with a player who we actually want, I think some of the bigger clubs in the league, your Man Cities, your Liverpools, are going to go, oh, should we get him? Is that going to make Newcastle better? And then you've got a bidding war, and then you've got a wage war. So it's only in our best interests to do things very secretly.
100%, and that's the way they should be doing our business every single time. That's why we're getting some great players, and the players we brought in, they've never ever let us down. They just come in, do the job, no prima donnas, and that's why we got Champions League. So, and the next question is: do you think the owners have massively ramped up expectations, or we are still approaching the rebuilding slowly?
Can you just sorry, John, my dog was just talking about. Just repeat that one more time.
Yeah,
sorry.
Sure. Okay. Do you think the owners have massively ramped up expectations, or are we still approaching the rebuild slowly?
For me, it depends which fan you're asking. If you're asking as a whole, it seems to be split, and I think that's what we're going to keep finding with social media platforms when people can voice. I think I'd be worried if our expectations weren't increasing. We've just got to a cup final and we've got Champions League football. For us not to be ambitious as fans basically means that we might actually run club, and that's what we don't want. But everyone is going to be different. I'm worried about where this club is going to go in terms of how it's going to change our fan base. That's the only thing for me that I feel like I'm going to have to adapt to as a fan, because in 3 years' time, if we continue to, get Champions League, cup finals, big players keep coming in, we are going to get fans who are jumping down the owner's throats at the smallest thing. And I think in this window, we're already seeing it a little bit, that there's a lack of patience. And for me, personally, I'm just happy that I was excited to go to the club shop to buy the new kit. It's the simple little things like that, and that's what I've got the owners to thank for, because I haven't been excited to buy this shirt, no matter how much it cost, since I was about 14 years old under Bobby Robson. I haven't. And that's what supporting your football club's all about, in my opinion, being excited to be in the stadium, to buy the top. It's the little things. It's the little things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because this shirt is absolutely fantastic. I love the sponsorship. I mean, I like the design of the shirt. Absolutely fantastic. Really, really brilliant.
I'm just going to stick my laptop on charge, John. 2 seconds so it doesn't die.
Sure. Okie dokie.
Yeah,
Let's go for it. No problem. Let's go on to the next question when you are here. Ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it. Thank you. And what do you see us achieving in the coming season?
We am I allowed to do a let me know in sorry, ask me again in 3 weeks?
Yeah.
It'll depend on our transfer business. Of course, it'll depend on our transfer business. We don't, in my opinion, have a squad. And I know it's a big talking point. We don't have a squad to compete in a Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup and Champions League campaign. We have a lot of players that are okay at getting us to a certain place. But with regards to, mounting a strong challenge for anything, I'm not so sure. I don't expect us to get Champions League again. I think unless we signed another 5 players this window, which I don't think we will. I would love to see us do that, but I don't think we will. For us to push Champions League 2 years in a row when we weren't really expecting it last year, this is a faster transition in the project than what Amanda Stavely or Gadusi even expected. I think we'll finish I'll say maybe 6th to 8th in the league, but I do think we'll mount another cup challenge, and I think we could potentially, if not get to the knock, I think Champions League we could spring a surprise. I think the way we play with a high press, a rocking St James's Park with war flags and packed out atmospheres, a lot of the teams in the Champions League will see us as the worst team because we're the 4th seed, and I think underestimate us at your peril, as what I would say to them big teams. And even if we got the Europa League from the Champions League, I can see us going on some sort of good cup run, which would be amazing, and a steady league campaign. That would probably be my estimate.
I think what you just said, you're absolutely perfect, absolutely right. I mean, we don't expect to win. We're not going to win the Champions League, in my opinion. I'm not going to lie, but we're going to go there and enjoy it, and we're just going to do the best we can.
It's interesting you say that, though, John, because I quite like Craig Hope, and he said on a video he went into Milan, in AC Milan in the semi-final, and he watched both them teams, and he didn't see a better team in that game than currently how Newcastle were playing at the time. And it's interesting because you do always get one surprise in the Champions League that will go a bit further. And I'm not saying that'll be us by any means. I'm just saying out of the fourth seeded teams, we might be one of the stronger ones. I mean, if you look at your Joe Lintons, your Tonali's, your Isaacs, your Wilsons, your Botmans, that's a good core. And if we're taking on like an AC Milan at St James's Park, you don't know, and it's exciting. I mean, we're all excited. I just can't wait to hear the Champions League music. But you never know what could happen in a competition like that.
Totally agree. Because Champions League, anything can happen in the Champions League, and we're not going to get they don't diss us, because at the end of the day, we're in for a surprise. They have not come to St James's Park for a long time, and they do not know what's going to hit them. So I'm feeling really good, really good. And next one for you, going back to Black and White Banter, the content you bring to your YouTube and other social media platforms is a perfect balance between solid and analytical opinions, current news updates, vlogs, and hilarious memes and videos. Was this a path you chose and planned for?
I don't think I planned for it. I realised very quickly in one of my other jobs. So I was full-time, I'm now part-time. I work as a personal trainer. So content is massive. I only get clients as a PT if I create content. It was then that I realised that I enjoyed it. That's what led me into Black and White Banter. And now that content for Black and White Banter has led me onto my new job in sports content creation for an online sports betting company. So it's been a mad ride. But I know that we're always guilty of saying I don't want to blow my own trumpet. I'm not going to say that I'm the best on YouTube by any means, because I don't post half as much as what you guys do. You guys who do it every single day, I fully respect you, John, who you do your live videos and you do so many a week. I fully respect that. But in terms of creating humorous content, I know that's a bit of a niche, a bit like Paddy Power, if anyone follows that.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, I try and see myself as almost Newcastle's Paddy Power, if you like. So yeah, I didn't plan on it, but now it's a part of my life. Some people like to read a book in their spare time. I'll see a Newcastle bit of news and probably find some way of trying to edit it in a funny way or make a funny video out of it. And match vlogs, when I go on an away day, I like to be a fan first. I like to get on the away bus, drink the cans, go to the pub beforehand, and I get my camera out. And for me, I get memories with away days, John, that I can look back on. So like the Nottingham Forest game, for example, when Isaac scored in injury time, I can always look back on that match vlog and I get to interview all my mates. I see some funny stuff on my videos, and it's just, yeah, it's all fun and games. I don't take content creation too seriously. I wouldn't enjoy it if I saw it if I saw it too serious.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about having fun, enjoy the moment, and then the rest will take care of itself.
Yeah, I agree.
There you go. A couple more questions here. How do you manage your time to produce such good content?
Oh, you could maybe argue I don't. I've got aid from like my content calendars, and obviously now working in social media and content creation, I'm learning all the time about how best to plan my time. Like for example, my It's Match Day video, if anyone has me on any of the socials, where it's always someone dancing with a caption, that has become something that I have to schedule the night before because it's become a traditional post on my Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram and whatnot, and it's a really popular one. YouTube, I've got a weird routine, John, where I record a video on the night before I go to bed. And then on the way into work the next day, because I commute into work, into the office, it's about 40 minutes. I edit it and put it together on the way into work the next day. So I've always got something to do on them long commutes to work. So yeah.
Brilliant stuff. Great answer. So end of the day, so it's all about hard work and dedication and get your head down. So, and next question, which element do you enjoy putting together the most?
Definitely humorous content has to be.
Yeah.
I wish I could share some of my videos that have gone viral on YouTube, but I just can't because of copyright. Like, you know, I've had a couple on TikTok, like Bruno's birthday video. I did share that one on YouTube because that had no copyright music over the top, but I've had some ones that I've loved making and other people have loved and shared across all of the socials. So it's definitely humorous I enjoy, but there's something really satisfying about watching when I come back on the away bus once I've sobered up a bit from all the beers and the Jaeger bombs. When I watch my match vlog back on the bus back home from away games, I love it because I'll see some of my mates saying something stupid. I'll see absolute jubilant celebrations in the stands. And it's just all good crack. It's all I only do all content on the Newcastle side for the banter. That's what I do it for.
Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. And just one last question before you open the questions from the chat. What do you see or hope for your cracking channel moving forward?
I hope you're going to see a lot more of me, and I can't give you too much information on that because the company that I'm working for is about to launch a new online sports betting brand.
Yeah.
That hopefully is going to take over the online sports betting world. I'm heading up the content creation on that. We've signed some contracts with some really, really big names, big clubs. So I'm hoping to be seen by more people on content creation with doors in to speak to some big people. So I'm hoping you might see more of me on that side. Black and White Banter, it's going in an upward trajectory. I can always struggle with that word. Like Facebook has boomed. Every year it seems to go up by about 10, 15,000 followers. YouTube, it's got to a point now where subscribers are going up a little bit faster and my videos are getting more views than probably ever before, depending on what the topic is. And yeah, as soon as YouTube or any content feels like I'm doing it to get subscribers and to get likes and to make money, that's when I'll jack it in, if I'm being totally honest with you. I know everyone has the different motives. A lot of YouTubers are obsessed with clickbait titles, if I'm being totally honest with you, which frustrate me a little bit. Subscribers, share. That's great because that keeps you motivated. But for me, I just like doing it because I enjoy it and I feel like I've got a lot to say about my beloved football club. The day that changes is the day I'll probably jack it in.
Fair enough. Fair comment. Well, that's part 2 completed. And we're going to go on to the questions from the floor and comments as well. And before we do that, please make sure you drop a like, hit the subscribe button as well, please. And super chats are open as well if you'd like to donate, and if you'd like to become a member, it's just 99p, and you'll be entered into the competition to win an e-voucher with £50. We're going to make that draw in September just for the Champions League kickoff. And also do follow Black and White Banter as well. So if you just go through the comments, it's there. Big up to Andrew DB. I hope you're okay, mate. And welcome to the chat, Andrew, as well. I did
big up
that, so yes.
Big up Andrew. Andrew did an amazing, honestly, John, Andrew did an amazing voiceover at the very last minute for the cup final weekend. And it was an emotional video. It wasn't a humorous one. It was a serious one. And it came together amazing. And yeah, big up Andrew. Absolute legend. Absolute legend. Great guy.
Big up to Andrew DB. Fantastic. Big up to Alan as well. I hope you're okay, mate. And Leslie loved his videos, especially Bruno's birthday.
Yes, Leslie.
Yeah, I've yet to see that yet. So I'll still call up, but I've yet to see that as well. And probably the only good thing boosted then, that's from Leslie. DJ ELTY. Big up to DJ. Even to you. Big shout out to Black and White Banter. Content superb. Guys going places. Hey, DJ, what about my content, mind?
Thank you very much, DJ LT. Thank you very much.
Big up, big up. Matthew, it's the voices you put on during your videos make me laugh. The posh news presenter types voice. Wow.
I wish I could share them on YouTube. I wish I could share them on YouTube. It annoys me so much.
Fair dues, fair dues. Let's go on to actually Les, I do apologize, Les. Show what is your dream job, Matt? That's from Les.
Do you mean which one I'm talking about that I've just started, or do you just mean in general what would my dream job be? Sorry, just to clarify that one, Les.
Yeah, it's basically what she's saying is what is your dream job? Question.
My dream job in general would be
there you go.
So what is it? Probably a footballer, if anything. I mean, obviously, I see the wages that these guys are on to walk out at St. James's Park and get paid to do it and get all of your food, your clothing, your gym routine, everything paid for in that process, whilst also living out your dream as like a Geordie, like your Paul Dummetts and your Longstaffs, and that is just incredible. So that would be my dream job. I didn't know whether you meant the job that I was talking about that I've just started. I don't know, but I hope that answers your question.
There you go, Leslie. If you understand that, Leslie, cracking question. And yeah, I understand you as well. To my favorite Newcastle YouTubers, thank you, David.
Big up, David.
Big up, David, to you. And if I was aware, Limbs. And question for Les, you answered that question. Excuse me, sorry about that. Question for Les again. Your serious football content is spot on. How on earth do you think of this crazy video you put out?
I think John will agree with us in this in a different way. I think every content creator has to probably be a little bit weird to be a content creator, to be able to put a camera in the face. I don't think any content creators, even if you go on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, I'm a creative person. I've got a lot of, I'd say that's one of my stronger points, and I get ideas all the time. So when I'm in the shower, as weird as this sounds, I will get out of the shower and I will grab my phone instantly and I'll write all my ideas down. So I've got about 30 Newcastle content video ideas for jokey content that I just don't have time to put together. So yeah, it's just something goes on in here. Probably because I'm a little bit weird. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh man, you know what it is, right? It's just do it, and just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
I got Janjos Ganetti. Big up to Django. When are you going to do a Bob Robson in-depth podcast?
Is that one to me?
Yeah.
A Bobby Robson in-depth podcast.
Yeah, Bobby Robson's podcast.
What do you mean? Do you mean just a video about Bobby Robson, or
yeah? Probably his time as Ipswich manager, and then he went on to manage England. And then came on to PSV foreign clubs as well.
Yeah, it's never crossed my mind to do a Bobby Robson video, Django, but I was lucky enough to be able to watch him, and what a time that was. He was wrongly sacked, in my opinion. I'll stand by that, but it was always preempted by Freddie Shepherd. I don't think it was knee-jerk, but yeah, I was lucky enough to remember those beautiful days. I remember going absolutely berserk in my living room, almost in tears, to Bellamy, it's in! Feyenoord 3-2. Absolutely incredible nights. Yeah, wow. So I'd happily do a video about that time. I can stick that on the list, on my shower list. I'll put Bobby Robson podcast on there.
Brilliant stuff. I tell you, we do that. That'd be amazing. We get loads of subscribers for that. Matt, do you go to away games or are you a season ticket holder? And if so, what's your best game away? I mean, you just mentioned Forest, didn't you?
Yeah, I do away games. I was very lucky last season. I did 16 away games last season. I only missed most of them because I was away, so I wasn't actually in the country. So I was very lucky to do a lot last season. That's why it was one of my favourites. My favourite ever away game, Forest has got to be up there, definitely. Just for a lot of different reasons. The banter was class with the lads. I actually really like Manchester City and Man United because we rent out a social club in Rochdale that lets us in and take over, and we all get on the tables. We have a DJ, so most of the away games with the lads I go with, we book out a bar before. And so when we go to Rangers tomorrow, we're booking out a nightclub in the middle of Scotland. And we're going to be taking over that from 2:30 till 6 o'clock. So the banter is just amazing. But yeah, I'm very lucky. I'm going to America next week for the pre-season, which should be absolutely superb.
Wow. I'd love to be in America, but I'll probably do that next year if we do go there next year. So I have the money ready as well. And to Matt and John, which Newcastle player, past and present, would love to have on your shows? That's a cracking question, Alan. Cracking question. Over to you, Matt.
Oh, that is a good question. That's it. You've given some thought to that question. Alan, I will go past. Would have to be in terms of, obviously, I'm assuming you mean whether dead or alive. So past would have to be Sir Bobby Robson, because I just think he seems like such a gent. He'd be good crack. You'd be able to go to a local pub. He wouldn't want a big fancy studio and you could just talk football for days. He could tell you some great stories, couldn't he, from England and Newcastle, you name it. Present player. I think an interview with Jacob Murphy would be class because he seems a real joke and he seems good crack. I think he'd be my cup of tea because you could really banter him and he'd probably give it back. So definitely Jacob Murphy.
Cool stuff for me. The past would have to be, like I said, Sir Bobby Robson be fantastic, because you're going to get from me. You could tell your stories as well over the years. Kevin Keegan, he'd be another one on the short list as well, 110%. Malcolm McDonald, he's around as well. I'd love to get Malcolm on as well. That guy, he knows what he's talking about. He says it how it is. You know what I mean? He doesn't suffer fools gladly. And present today, Alan Shearer would be difficult to get. I wouldn't mind having a word with, I was doing like a global mag show, Jonas Gutierrez. I'd like to get him on as well. He's on social media.
Can I change my answer, John?
Yeah.
My present, and I think, as a realistic target for someone you could maybe get on a channel, I would love to sit down with John Carver, because John Carver could tell you what the Bobby Robson days was like. He could also talk about the Ashley days when he obviously struggled and just kept us up by the skin of our teeth. I think he would have some serious stories.
Yeah, that's a fair shout. I mean, John Carver, that's a good dream. That's a good choice there. They've got some good ones out there. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, Shiraz, one of them, like I said. And Rob Lee would be good. And Peter Beardsley, I'd love to get Peter Beardsley on. That'd be a dream as well. If I can get him on me, sure, that'd be so amazing. But never say never. They may come. If you check your YouTube, say, I want a slice of the pie. So there you go. Talking about slice of the pies, I thought you'd say Greg's. It's your dream job.
I tell you what, those women in Greg's are so chirpy. I don't know where they get their energy from, but to be able to smell pasties all day, every day, that isn't a bad job. That's a good shout. That's a very good shout. Sensational shout.
Brilliant. And let's go on to Leslie again. It was the dream job. He mentioned that he has been in 5 weeks.
Yes, Leslie, keep an eye out for a brand that you are going to see absolutely everywhere. You are going to see this brand. I can't tell you anymore because I'd probably lose my job for confidentiality. But this is a brand that is going to take over the sports world. So keep an eye out. And hopefully I might be the face of some of that content.
Absolutely. I'll be looking forward to that one as well. What is your favourite away game this season? Hi to Hugh Jass. Welcome to my channel, mate, for the first time.
Hugh Jass. I love that name. Whoever's come up with that one, legend. Hugh Jass, I like that. It's my cup of tea.
Right. Don't know if this is true or not. Would you sell Jacob Murphy if rumours are true? Is he really up for sale? I'm not that I know.
I don't. Again, this is all dependent who we can bring in. I think Jacob Murphy really came on in the second half of last season, and I think he does offer us the endeavour of a Newcastle fan. He's direct, and we don't have many players who like to pick up the ball and just run at their man. Maximin's probably the only other one in our team, and he did come on. Is Jacob Murphy a Champions League player? No. Is he a player that's going to get you to that next level? No. But it would all depend who we brought in for me.
Very true. Touching on that question, I've got a question for you as well. I mean, before we go on to Alan's comment, that I know people are saying that we've got a 25-man team, right?
Yeah.
Do you think as a one-in, one-out policy, or do you think Newcastle is going to keep buying players for quality?
I think if you think about the standards that the PIF group set, they only shoot for the stars. And I think that's what's so exciting about being a Newcastle fan right now. We are not owned by people who settle for mediocrity. I'm not saying they expected to get Champions League, but we are not going to be the club anymore that just signs players to fill seats. And I think Eddie Howe knows that. And that's why it might be a window for a couple of years, which is just going to continue to annoy me when I see frustrated fans where we might get a Tonali for 55, which was an incredible signing, but then we might just get one more for maybe 35. And yes, some people won't be happy with the squad depth, but then if we get another 2 incredible players in the January window, we build an absolute animal of a team. And I think under PIF we are not settling for mediocrity anymore. We really not.
Yeah. That sounds a fair shout as well. But us fans, we got to be patient, though. We got to be patient. I've done a content on Friday called Trust the Process. Check it out on that. And most people agree with what I've said as well, because I've done that live outside St. James's. So, and Super Mac, one hell of a player. Thank you, Alan. Always good to be Terry Hibbert for me, Alan. Thank you, Les. Albert or Venison for me. It has to be Albert all day long. No disrespect.
I'm not of the age where I can remember Venison, so it would have to be Albert for me.
100%. Evening, everyone. Willock has to be starter for me next season, no matter who we bring in. Such a bright spark in our team or squad. Reckon he'll do a job at the right side for midfield. That's the 12th man too. Big up to you, mate. And he's out injured in a minute. The right side, there's so many as well. I mean, you got Miggy, you got Murphy, you got Gordon. Do you want Willock on the right?
It depends what you want. I love a direct winger, and that's why Almiron on the right for me. Anyone who watches my videos knows I'm not a huge fan of Almiron. I know he had his purple patch. I know he grafts hard, which we all love. I know he's got a big smiley face. But for me, I hope I'm proved wrong, as I always want to be with some players who I'm not a huge fan of. Almiron's purple patch will stay a purple patch, in my opinion. I don't like how one-footed he is on the right-hand side. So I like how Jacob Murphy, when he gets the ball, wants to whip a ball in, because if we have a striker in Wilson and Isak, if the ball goes into the box, we're going to score goals. And I'm not sure about Willock there. I think the only thing I want to see from Willock more, just going back to that comment, was he was great last season and he was one of the unsung heroes, in my opinion. He helped us basically get Champions League and he was quite versatile. But I would like to see that 6 assists and I think it's 6 goals and 3 assists, or the other way around last season. I want to see that improved on, because we saw under Steve Bruce, which is one of the only positives we saw under Steve Bruce, Joe Willock knows where the goal is. And what we lacked last season, which is why I would have liked to have seen James Maddison come in, is a midfielder who can add 12, 13 goals. And that's where we have an imbalance, in my opinion, in our midfield. We need a central Roman attacking midfielder who's going to bang goals in and get a shot off on the regular. And Joe Willock, I would like to see him do a little bit more in the final third.
Yeah, absolutely. I like Joe Willock as well, by the way. And when he's match fit, he's going to be some player, believe me. He's only young. I've got every faith in this guy. It's as simple as that. I like him.
Great.
And, so he's in the squad. I'm backing this guy. Remember that pass to Asai's foot to Isak?
Wow. Do I remember that pass, John? I watched that pass. I opened red wine and watched that pass. I lit some scented candles, closed the curtains, and I watched that pass on repeat.
Yes. I tell you what, had I been in Italian, had I been Andrea Pirlo did a pass like that would have been talked about for 30 years. But because it's Joe Willock, he's not going to get much, and he's not going to get much said. I don't in the region, simple as that. But you got to give them talent. You got to appreciate what they do. Look at what we have now, squad-wise. What's your starting 11 and why? And that's from Leslie.
Right. Obviously, Nick Pope in goal. In the middle of our goal, Nick Pope. That one picks itself. Kieran Trippier at right back. Mr. Fabian Schär, who I do not like people talking about the fact we need to replace him. That really annoys me. I think Fabian Schär was my player of the season last year. Him and Botman at centre back. Oh, left back. Yeah, you have to go Dan Burn. I do want to see us sign a left back, but I would go Dan Burn. He was safe as houses. Midfield 3. Tonali, Joe Linton, and Bruno. And then the front 3. For me, Willock, Isak, and just based off his form during the summer for England, I would maybe go Anthony Gordon to start the season. I know Callum Wilson has banged in loads of goals, but for me, Isak adds more. And Callum Wilson proved, and I think it's because his hamstrings are made of cheese. When he came off the bench for us at the end of last season, he was hungry and he scored goals. And I still think he's a fantastic option off the bench. So that would be my starting 11.
Good shout, good shout. What's going to happen to ASM? I mean, a lot of reports saying that he could be off to the Saudi. A lot of people say he's splitting the fans. I mean, for me personally, I love him. Don't get us wrong, in my opinion. But would you keep him at Newcastle United? Or if the money comes in, 40 million quid, would you let him go?
Again, John, for me, that comes down to how much we have to spend. If Eddie Howe is in a position where he has to make money to sign players for this huge, long season that we're about to embark on against some of the best teams in the world, St. Maximin's numbers don't, his numbers don't stand up as being a consistently very, very good player. For so long last season, all people talked about with Maximin was his game against Man City. I was getting sick of hearing, but look what he can do against Man City. Yeah, that's all well and good, but that was back in September.
Yeah.
So yes, he's had injury problems, but that's another thing you have to think about. So if we had to sell, to buy, to improve our squad as a whole, because I still think we need a left back, we need a central attacking midfielder, as I just talked about.
Yeah.
We need another centre back, because if Schär or Botman gets injured, I don't think we're comfortable in that position. I know we've got Kraft coming back, we've got Lascelles, who's can be okay on his day. But I would sell Maximin, yeah. If we got an endless cash pit, which we still don't know, then no. I think I can see St. Maximin on those Champions League nights at the Bernabeu when people don't think that we're anybody and they don't set up defensively against us. Maximin could absolutely rinse people like grabbing a flannel and rinsing it out in the sink. He could destroy teams. But I'm not a St. Maximin fanboy, and I see the split on social media. Some people are Maximin fanboys, some people can't stand him, and then you've got that grey area in the middle.
Wow. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, my opinion is I love ASM, but if Eddie Howe has to sell him, then I would back his judgment. If he sold him and we get a player like Kvaratskhelia for Napoli, which is not going to happen, by the way, in my opinion, they're not going to sell him this season, and they're not going to sell him at all. Harvey Barnes, yes, no problems at all. Then I'll back Eddie all the way.
I'm gonna throw this one back at you, John. Then I know you're saying you'll back Eddie, as we all do. But if you had to sell Maximin to maybe strengthen the squad because you love St. Maximin, would you still keep him because you think he'll be that good next year or not?
Would I still keep ASM or
if you knew that Eddie Howe maybe had to sell to sign more players for the squad, would you still keep him because you think he's that good?
I'd probably keep him, but he needs to fix up. He needs to fix up, in my opinion, because he has got an end product. We know that. Everyone knows that he hasn't got an end product in this game, and he needed an end product to do it again. Look at some great end products. Kvaratskhelia, he's got a wonder end product. Harvey Barnes got an end product to this game. Saka's got an end product to this game. Foden, yeah. Bernardo Silva, yeah. ASM has got everything. It's just that. But yeah. I'm backing him. I'm not going to be negative, but I'd say how it is for me. Some of the games, and he needs to stop going this January thing. Pretend to be injured in January, because I don't think he is. No one knows. But
that's a controversial theory.
No, I mean that's what people are saying, but I could be wrong. But I don't want to be neg. I want to be on the post. But at the end of the day, all I say is, right, if Eddie wants to sell him, I will back him. I'll back his judgment because he knows exactly what he's doing in my book. But we should see what happens. I hope he's there. But if he goes and gets some better players coming for him, then we have to accept it. But still, because they know what to say. Hi, John. How's you doing from Kate? Jonathan, Kate, and Jonathan are absolutely fine. You had a good week and bearing up after the loss of Jonathan's dad. I do apologise. Willock's going to be a superb player. That's an Andrew. Agree. And Paul, Trips, Share, Botman, Burn, Tonali, Bruno, Joe. Willock, Isaac, ASM, Easy Squad, and Mick. That's a 12-man Toon. And hope you and John are okay. That's some Les. Hi to Static, a big Arsenal fan. Hope you okay, mate. I tell you what, they're spending some serious money. Serious.
Certainly are.
Big money. And they haven't stopped there yet. Willock scored winner in Champions League final. Bet you a pint. Well,
Andrew, can I get that one in writing, because I'm going to make it a very expensive pint when that bet is wrong.
Yes.
Optimism, though. I do like the optimism.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you sell ASM, then Gordon can go left wing. That's firm at 12th man. And I've got one from Matt and John. Jim Mac and Keegan. Get them on your shows. It will be a
I wish
sell.
it was that easy, Alan. I wish it was that easy.
Hard to get. So hard to get. If Kevin Keegan's on Instagram, then I'll be honest. Good, and that's a good here. Willock on the left, goal on the right. If you saw ASM, Willock and Joe combo last season was sensational. He loves Joe Willock, and I love Joe Willock as well.
Yeah, I do. I didn't want to sound critical of him earlier. I do really like. I do like Joe Willock, and I think he does have so much time to progress. We do forget how old he is because we've had him for a couple of years now. But it would just be nice to see the goal scoring form that we saw when he was under Steve Bruce, because he was banging goal after goal after goal under Steve Bruce. He basically helped keep us up that year.
Yeah, 100%, man. But you know what? It is what it is. I mean, Joe Willock, it's been sensational all the time. There you go. It's a comment for you. I knew you like him, Matt. Love Shah. Leslie fancies Shah.
I was going to say, do you like him for football reasons, or is there something else in that, Leslie? Come on, let's be honest.
Well, Leslie gives that answer in a bit. Matt, who would you drop for Tonali?
It's got to be Longstaff. I think Tonali's an upgraded Longstaff.
100%. Hi, John. When will it be okay if me and you, Jonathan, come on my live at some point? Please, how would you do this? Well, Kate and Jonathan would love to come on my live show. I mean, if you've got Facebook, and then what I'll do, I'll send you the link on Facebook, and then all you do then just click on that, and then I should bring it in live as well. And you're welcome to come on at any time, and that'll be fantastic. And let's see, we'll remind us on that one as well. Kate, no disrespect to Longstaff, but I feel like hitting the ceiling. He won't get any better in my opinion. So it's time to upgrade, and that upgrade in this position will be Bruno with Tonali to fill in. That's the 12th man too.
I'm not sure that Bruno is a replacement for Longstaff. They are such different players. I think Tonali is the Longstaff replacement.
Yeah, good shout. Matt, who would you drop in mid for Tonali? We just answer that question. It's going to be Longstaff. I think we are all in love with Asian potential. Just don't see him reaching it. And I think Leslie completely nailed it in a way.
I hope he does.
Yeah, I hope he does as well. I hope he does. Prove to be wrong again. Opinions on ASM. We spoke about that as well. Ben, if you missed it, look, I love him, but he hasn't got an product. If Eddie does sell him, then I will have no problems at all whatsoever, as long as we get a replacement. And a pint of water.
You tight ass.
Sounds like it, doesn't it? Sounds like it. Bless.
Tell you what.
Well, you know what? Some boys.
Cost of living, isn't it? It's cost of living.
Some boy, isn't he? Some boy.
It'll be very expensive bottled water from the most. I'll make sure that water is in a glass bottle and it's about £5 a pop. Don't worry, Andrew.
And if you are here, double it. We have got his funeral on Wednesday. Seriously, now this one, Kate. We're only laughing, Kate. We've got a funeral on Wednesday, John, and it's going to be so emotional. Kate, my heart goes out to Jonathan's dad. We'll be thinking of you, Kate. Of course, you will. And old enough to be Shah's mom. Of course, it's football. Yay!
I'll believe you thousands wouldn't, Leslie. I'll believe you thousands wouldn't.
You said it. We'll be long to go another 5 more minutes as well. I mean, Eddie Howe, right? I mean, I was seeing some tweet the other day, right? Popped to me DM. I'm not going to mention the name, right? But he said that Eddie Howe's not very happy at all about transfers and stuff like that. So he said online, he said on the interview, he said that he needs more players. Then he said he's getting frustrated. I do not believe that for 1 second. I do not.
John, I've just video, my video that I posted on YouTube about an hour ago is talking about that exact topic. He didn't say the word frustrated, and that's where the media can just totally mix things up. He did. It was an interesting one, and I was trying to read his body language. He did go on to say that if we still haven't signed players further down the line, because we need to sign more with the Champions League in mind, that it would be a bit worrying. But he didn't say he was frustrated. Honestly, this is what drives me insane about social media.
Crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. These journalists twist the words every single day. I'm not going to mention it on here. I think you know who it is here. But like I said, I mean, journalists, and I will say it now, journalists, they know absolutely sweet FA. I mean, and they just guesswork. It's clickbait. And you know what? It just gets worse and worse and worse. And it's just and one of these days, I can see people are going to start suing newspapers as well. That's what's going to happen in a couple of years' time. You just watch. Could be wrong.
It's happened, doesn't it? It's happened with phone. Remember the News of the World years ago? Not sports related, but the News of the World was called phone tapping.
Yeah, absolutely. It could happen in football, man. It could happen in football. And do you know what? I could see people I could see journalists get banned as well. Do you know what I mean? For making false accusations as well. That ain't good. I mean, if you haven't got nothing to say, don't say it. Don't say it. And I love to bring Chiesa over any of the wingers we've been linked to so far. He's absolutely class, better value in terms of FFP than Cabral, and Diaby, in my opinion. Now, again, I mean, reports are coming out and saying that Chiesa is being linked to Newcastle United. They want 55 million quid. Market value is around 36 million quid. Cabral, the Cavaschellia, got transfer value, market value around 85 million quid, and Napoli wants 120 million euros and that. And Diaby of Bayern Leverkusen made it quite clear they want 50 mil. Now, again, right? I mean, people are saying we're the long-term watchers of those players, right? We're not made a bid for them. We're inquired about it. We're not made a bid for them. And that's the difference. People need to take a chill pill. People need to calm down a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
We don't even know whether there's been an inquiry though. That's with Newcastle, how we
Nobody are. Nobody knows.
We don't know anything. And like, I'm not going to claim like the Diaby link annoys me the most, because when he's been linked with Aston Villa, and obviously I know that's heated up a little bit. Everyone's freaking out on Twitter saying like we've missed out on another one. There are so many players where I don't think there's even, until the club says yes, we were interested in that player. Diaby's been talked about now for a year and a half. Where did that even come from? Have we actually even ever wanted him? It annoys me, honestly, John. It just gets a bit stupid on social media. It does. It really, really does.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you, because at the end of the day, right, I'm not going to lie, right? If they really want that player, I'm going to say that. If they really want that player would have been through the door, had his medical, it's on the dotted line, and he wears a black and white shirt, yeah? Until then, now it's been said, I mean, like the Paquetá, right, for West Ham, right? People are saying they came to Newcastle, they saying now because Bruno's mates, yeah? It's going to happen. No, it didn't. That's the fans' choice. It was the PIF's choice. That is the thing. They need to stop getting tapped. Stop getting wrapped up, sort of thing. You know what I mean? They're getting absolute tapped, a lot of them. I'm telling you, a lot of them. And they're just going to get themselves like an absolute muppets, a lot of them. Sorry. Evening, John, even if you one eye to George. I'm not ranting, by the way. I'm just being honest. And we go over Eddie Howe. It's a perfect media. So proud of our manager. Also, don't believe his press conferences as well. This is the thing, right? I can see Leslie's trying to say, right? I mean, he said the same thing about FFP last season, right? We can't sign too much because FFP. A couple of days later, we got Isak for 63 million.
Yeah. Amanda found 60 million down the back of the sofa.
Exactly. So it just goes to show, don't stress. Just relax and just go from there. It's as simple as that. Do you know what I mean? And and then the rest to take its course. So, well, I feel that's going to be it there, because we've gone through everything, gone through the questions, gone through the chat. The chat was just lively tonight, wasn't it? You know what I mean? And, it's been absolutely fantastic. And did you enjoy coming on my show tonight, Matthew?
Absolutely lovely. Thank you very much for having me on. Honestly, any reason to talk about Newcastle, I absolutely love it. I could sit here and talk for 3-4 hours because there's so much to talk about with Newcastle these days. So yes, thank you very much for having me on. And anyone who's watching, please drop us a subscribe. That would be great. It's always nice to see new subscribers pop up. And like I say, there'll be lots of America content, which will probably be weird and wonderful in many ways.
Yeah.
So touchdown for that. But yes, thank you very much for having me on, John.
No problem. Don't go away yet because someone will be just backstage as well. And before we ask you to tell where you can find you on socials, normally you get the deals done where Amanda's aware and Mirad has the checkbook. That's right. He's right there. Thank you, Andrew DB. Appreciate that. Thank you, Leslie. And she also loves listening to you as well. And can you just tell the viewers where you can find you on your socials for those who don't know?
Yes, perfect. Yeah. So, like I say, I create very different content across the other socials, normally humorous, sometimes serious, as Andrew will testify to, and sometimes quite emotional, depending on the situation. So it's Black and White Banter on Facebook, TikTok. I'm quite big on TikTok now. That's boomed recently. Twitter, it's Black and White Banter. On Instagram, because the Instagram police deleted my last account, which I was devastated about. It's 4,500 people. It's It's Black and White Banter without the and on there. And on YouTube, of course, as you can see in my name, it is Black and White Banter. You'll find me on there. So yeah, all the match vlogs home and away on YouTube. Lots of talking points from my living room and everything else in between. So yeah, that would mean the world to me if you could drop down and give a subscribe. Thank you very much.
Fantastic stuff. Do that, chatters. Do this, guys, because at the end of the day, Matty is absolutely fantastic and he loves to have fun as well. He's not negative. He's always a positive guy and positive vibe, and that's what we need. And if you like the video, like what you see, make sure you smash the like, drop subscribe as well. Also, if you'd like to become a member, it's just 99p, and you'll be entering into e-voucher draw for September. And I'll be doing a match day vlog tomorrow at iBox Stadium, and I'm sure people will come up to us and say they want a fan cam. I'll be doing the fan cam interviews tomorrow, and I should be doing, like I said, fan cam. So I'm going to do the stadium side as well. So make sure you catch us tomorrow night. And also, if you like the video, like we see, like, subscribe, and as always, away the lads, and I'll see you in the next one.